hate puppies. It's good podcast.
I feel threatened.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to our 5th anniversary show inside the Pallet House. This is officially entering into our 6th year. I've been told that that's how the math works. So I'm hoping that I don't get a bunch of hate mail, because I was the only one. I got to believe I was wrong, because
I'll send hate mail.
I appreciate that. We have Ely here tonight. It's always good. We're off to a rocking start. And we got the regular crew here on year 6. This is crazy. That means we've been doing it way too long.
Way longer than the numbers said we were going to do it for.
The numbers say that you'll do 6 episodes before you quit. So I think we officially locked that up. We went 6 years. No, we went 5 years. Am I doing this right?
Yeah, you got it.
Okay. So we've done this for 5 years. We did show them, for better or worse. So
because we went virtual.
Yeah, so Stu, is this your 2nd anniversary or first? I don't know what Stu would be.
This would be at least a year, because I'm trying to think. This is April. Yeah, a year.
Feels like longer.
Yeah.
God, so did that last statement he made.
Just drag it out.
Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in another week. We hope that hope everybody's staying safe and doing all right and holding it together as best they can in this ridiculous time. I was today officially the beginning of one of the economic disasters. I did not lose my job, thank God, but definitely took a pay cut today. That's never fun. Yeah, that's never fun. So I'm a little tired today because I found out at 8 o'clock last night. I got the email, hey, could you join a meeting at 7:30 in the morning? I'm like, no, why are we doing a meeting at 7:30 in the morning? I was literally sitting there, my wife was like, hey, will you finish this bottle of wine for me? And I was like, I got the text. I was like, I'm not going to be able to help you as much as I would like on this. I'm going to have to, I'll have one glass with you. So I had one of those tosses.
I got to prep for crying.
Yeah. Yeah, wine makes me giggle.
Need to hydrate.
Oh.
I need to hydrate so I have plenty of tears.
My daughter did come downstairs at 10:30 last night, and I was just drinking water after water. She's like, what are you doing? I was like, hydrating. I got a early morning, big day tomorrow. Need to be hydrated. She's like, what's that
Why?
about?
What do you know?
Yeah. Does this mean I'm not getting a pony? It does.
Brenda's like, I got to fill my body full of water before it gets cut off in a couple days.
Yeah, exactly.
So I missed that. Did you say everybody got pay cuts, or did anybody get fired?
No, this is in lieu of letting anybody go. Thank goodness, right? I mean, that's ultimately it.
There's a lot of companies doing some really cool things. I know a lot of them are doing the rotating week furlough.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, where basically, they split you up into groups of 4 or whatever, and you just rotate 1 week a month of taking furlough.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you just 75% pay cut or 25% pay cut?
Exactly. For however long.
But then you get a week off. So, I mean, which of
Which
course you're home.
Which could help, though. I mean, that could help with childcare.
Exactly.
It helps with all kinds of things. I mean, this goes back to our discussion early on that if you just know, if you had a date, then you can plan for it. Mine was literally a reduction until a date in the future. And they're and then everything goes back to normal. And it's okay, you tighten up the bootstraps for X amount of months, and then we get back to work. And that makes it all the more tolerable. I mean, you're not excited about it. You're not like, honey, I did it. I lost money. But, you're excited that at least there's a light at the end of the tunnel and you can work towards that. So
right.
It went right along with what we were saying. If all along they'd shut us down and said, you come out September 1st, it's boy, that's extreme, but okay, September 1st. But
no, I wouldn't have said okay. I think if they would have said, we're doing it for a month, and then we're getting back to it.
That would have been far better.
Yeah, much better. I mean, at the time, though, we don't know that we knew. Well, there's two different cases to be made there. If we didn't know the severity or the death rate, but some people would say we had some solid data from other countries.
I feel like I'm seeing data for whoever or whatever side of the argument you want to make. I feel like I see people posting random data, and I don't research it all, so who knows what's true and what's not. But I feel like if you think we should be shut down for an entire year, people are finding the data. If you think we should be shut down for a month, people are finding the data.
But across the board, it's all going down.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like the death rate projection is all shrinking, but it's still shrinking within that window of there's, opposite ends of the spectrum where you can see there's no good answers.
Yes.
What's his name? Congressman Crenshaw had a good video explanation of some dates and some things today he put out there. It was pretty
You
interesting.
see his thing with Bill Maher? That's all over the internet today.
No, I didn't see that part.
That's pretty good.
Was that Bill Maher's like monologue he did last week just about Corona?
No, Bill Maher just was interviewing him on a split screen, and
Gotcha.
Crenshaw. It was pretty good.
Is this is Dan Crenshaw, the SEAL?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
the pirate.
The pirate. Waterman of some sort, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Transferred from he went from SEAL to pirate very easily.
He's taking the SEAL thing pretty seriously. He
Yeah.
loves the water.
Arg, I'm a SEAL.
Right. Yeah. Well, if I can't be a SEAL anymore, I gotta live. I'm gonna be a pirate. Damn it.
That's right.
It pays better.
Yeah.
Good on.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, Bill Maher put something out. It was just like a monologue about telling the media to chill the fuck out. And I
Yeah,
just thought it was
I did
really
hear that.
interesting because he's such a liberal that he like kind of took a route that I wouldn't have expected him to. But I was like, well done, Bill. It's like,
Yeah, he's an interesting liberal though. He's very like
he is. You never know when he's going to switch gears on you and go a different direction.
yeah, where some are like dyed in the wool or sticking to their side. He'll call them out. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Oh yeah.
he's very. I think in some aspects he's more practical.
Yeah. If you're doing horse shit, he's going to call you out on either side.
Right.
I love when he says a joke that his audience is super left, and he'll say a joke sometimes, and they'll just groan and moan, and he'll be like, "Oh, what are you, a bunch of pussies?" Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
That's what makes him great, though. I mean, I could tolerate practical, logical.
well, it's like Corolla was saying today. He was talking about him. He's like, I like a lot of things he says. I disagree with some of the things he says. It's like, if you believe everything any one person says, you're probably not being true to yourself. And it's true. Like, I like Bill Maher's show. I like a lot of the things he says. Some of the stuff I couldn't be more on the other side of, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to watch a show and I'm not going to learn from some of the stuff and or agree with some of the stuff.
Because he doesn't toe a line for the sake of towing a line. He's getting a joke and he's getting his point across, and I'm good with that.
Yeah. He was pretty good on Rogan not too long ago. Speaking of him, did you see he's getting tons of heat?
Rogan
Was he-
is?
Yes.
What'd he do
Which
now?
one?
For the coronavirus, for all the testing that he's had, and
Oh,
he's making
yeah.
people do.
He's testing everyone that comes in there. He's got a doctor that he pays big money to, and they come in and
Yeah, so
do
Twitter's
blood
like
work.
eating him up about there's people dying in the streets and they can't get tests, and here you are testing everybody.
And what's the
Yeah.
story behind it? I mean, who knows? He could have, fuck, it's Joe Rogan, dude. He could have created an on it test.
I
yeah,
just don't understand. I'm in the minority here, and everybody knows that listens to this show, but I just don't understand that. How have we suddenly why is he testing everybody?
Yeah.
Like, they're not Daffy Ducking when they're talking to each other. Why is he testing everyone? I don't care if the dude 8 feet from me has coronavirus. I fucking don't.
Yeah.
Oh, I would not be excited to find out a dude 8 feet from me had coronavirus.
Well, of course not. But what makes you think that you're going to get it? Like, you've been that far away from people that have viruses that transmit the same way your whole life and never got it.
Right.
Yeah. But I don't know they have it. Like, if somebody walks in a room and goes, I have the flu, I'm like, get the fuck out of my room.
Right. That's a very good
You
point.
know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm like,
So
what
to
are you,
yeah.
why are you
Yeah,
here?
You're right. The whole knowing, no, I retract that. So knowing is a different thing. But my point is that, like, I guess the not knowing,
Yeah.
I just don't understand. Our behavior doesn't seem rational to me, and I've explained that 20 times. I don't get so many of the things that we're doing.
And
there's
why
so many
can't
things
he?
that we're doing within the personal behavior that is just odd to me, you know?
Well, and to be mad at him, like he's rich and he can afford it and he wants to do it. So don't get mad at him. I mean, I don't get that angle either. Like,
Well, back when nobody had tests, I mean, all of a sudden the Denver Nuggets had everybody tested on their team one day. I was like,
yeah,
yo, hold on. The entire state of Denver has 50 tests and you just chewed up 20 of them. I thought that was far more
Right.
egregious in the moment in time. Now there's tests all over the place and Rogan has a handful. And I bet he paid a pretty damn penny for them too.
Oh, of course.
That's crazy.
Well, yeah, I mean, I saw something that I thought was pretty interesting. I read that in most pandemics and any severe outbreak of anything, you would typically find, and thank God for what they do and who they are, but you would have more frontline workers coming down with the actual virus itself. And it doesn't seem to be happening because it's not as widespread as they're perceiving it to be.
I don't know if I agree with that. I feel like that's the people that have been getting. I mean, I'm hearing lots of stories about people getting it that are on the front line. Where are you?
But they're not dying from it. Like, it's not this severe of a virus, except for those that are at high risk already.
I thought your point was that people weren't contracting it at a tremendous rate. Healthcare workers disproportionately are.
Well, right, but what I'm saying,
it,
I guess would be either a death rate or unable to truly.
Well, let's hold our judgment on the death rate until we actually know what the fuck the death rate is. I mean, if as many people as really have it as it looks like it could be, the death rate could be way lower than we.
Yeah, I mean, in all reality, from what I'm reading, it sounds like it's going to end up being right around the flu, if anything, like maybe 50% higher than the flu. Not 50%, but like if the flu's 0.1, 0.15 maybe, you know what I mean?
I just am holding out judgment on all these numbers until we really know, because this, like, I don't know if it was Troy or Stu's point earlier. There's ways you can argue both sides because there's so much data, good and bad, coming at us that I can't even wrap my head around what's happening.
Well, and there's not real data. Some countries aren't even giving real data. So,
which makes the death rate look far worse because they're like, we had 4 cases and 3 of them died.
Yeah.
Like, you're full of shit.
But the thing is, like, we know it's not 5. Like
5%.
Yeah, we're squat like weird.
Yeah, no
I mean,
chance.
would you agree that we're behaving like this is a life-ending virus?
Wait till a life-ending virus does show up.
That's my point, and I feel like that's when we should be behaving like this.
Like when AIDS becomes like you can get it from a sneeze. Now you got a problem when something like AIDS, right? Like when HIV came out, we couldn't do shit against it. The good news is there were only certain activities that would allow you to catch it, not shaking hands, not getting coughed on. Like that wasn't how it worked. Imagine if it had. We would have been wiped out.
Yeah, so there's this is essentially a dry run, so we will know how to behave.
We will.
When that happens.
And fortunately, we have other countries that are doing different things. We have places like Sweden that are like, use common sense. We're going to stay open, but use common sense. And they seem to be doing all right. We'll see. But those numbers, again, we won't know till it all bears out. But when it's all said and done, you're right. This is a good dry run for what you do in this scenario, which we've never had.
Yeah.
At least in our society here in America.
I think I'm on Ely's side where it's, speaking of numbers we don't know, how is this going to affect the average home from here on out?
Well, it's affected my home as of today without anyone getting sick because of the economy. And so we now have to you know what I ate for fucking lunch today? A cup of noodles. And I haven't even felt the economic strain, but I'm already going down the wrong damn path because I'm at home with the kids, It's like we're eating everything out of the house. Literally ate a cup of noodles and a piece of chicken. It was like, boy. And I just got my pay reduced 4 hours ago. It hasn't even hit me.
We're trying to still order takeout from all the local places just to help them out, do what we can, while we can.
Yeah, I just did the last 4 times I've gotten takeout. The tip, regardless if it even made sense, has been, $10 or $15 on top of a $15 or $20 bill.
Can you guys
just because for the restaurants?
You guys ever do grocery delivery?
No.
Nobody's ever done it.
I mean, it used to.
I don't know what I'm supposed to tip those people for bringing groceries.
Well, whatever you do, it'll be high.
Yes. I was
Yeah.
going to say, what are people supposed to tip them, or what's Brendan supposed to tip them?
Well, what am I supposed to tip them?
$100, easy.
At least 50%.
That's going to change the old delivery quite a bit.
That wasn't a joke, by the way. You know that's what people are saying online, right?
50% of my bill?
Most people are saying, I've seen Nikki Glazer tweeted about it. I've seen multiple other people tweet about it. If you're not tipping at least 50% when they're delivering you stuff like that, you're fucked up.
Well, that's funny because she's usually talking about taking it in the keister. So it's funny she's,
I mean, what's taking in the keister got to do with how you tip?
I'd tip more.
This is a fact. If they delivered my groceries and gave me anal, I promise you I'd tip 50% of the bill. I'm willing to get behind that.
Yeah. And you don't care what you don't care what he looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's facing the other way. It's not like he's breathing on me.
Right. Exactly.
I'm still socially distant. With this hog, I can keep him 6 feet away.
Yeah.
Brendan's online. Is Scotty available for delivery?
I sent you a video of the delivery driver earlier, Brendan.
I did not appreciate that video. Ely sends me these weird little like GIFs and videos in like Facebook Messenger, and they're always something crazy. Well, this was an old man who had like these weird suction cup things on his boobs, and he was sucking them out into these big cups. And then when he'd pull them off, he'd have big floppy titties for like 3 minutes, and he would just play with them. I was like, what are you sending me?
Oh, yeah, you guys will get that video shortly.
Oh, great. Yeah, I've got a couple friends that...
This dude's got dad issues for sure.
Oh, there's no doubt. There's no doubt.
He's got slut tattooed on his belly.
Oh,
it's bad.
Was this a guy? I was listening to a podcast, Your Mom's House. This guy has pig on his head.
Yeah, he's got
he's an old man.
Cuckold tattooed on his chest.
Like pig across his forehead or something.
Yeah.
Joe Exotic.
Your Mom's House is all about that.
Yeah.
Joe Exotic can't believe he got away. So I had a delivery today. Like my wife had ordered groceries. Usually we just go and pick them up. Like we've been doing that. That's just how she does grocery shopping. Like for the last at least year, she just doesn't like groceries.
The curbside pickup thing.
Yeah. You pull up and we always do that. So like I
just got a messenger video.
Enjoy that.
Yeah.
So I would usually go and pick it up. Well, today she calls me up. She's like, "Hey, groceries are pulling in the driveway." I was like, "What?" And so like this girl like had all these groceries in her car and brought them out and like dropped them off at the house. And I didn't know if I was supposed to tip or not. So I just reached in my pocket. I had a $10 bill. So I handed her a $10 bill. Now I'm feeling like I totally was chintzy on this because that was probably $150 worth of groceries.
Yeah.
Damn it. But they don't like stand there looking for a tip. They just kind of like turn around and walk away. I was like, "Excuse me." Handed her the money.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get shit delivered out to where I live.
Well, I guess I'll step it up and maybe do 20. Because my wife even asked me when she got home, she said, "How much did you tip that person?" And I was like, I just gave him $10. She was like, "Oh, okay, cool. That's what I was thinking." And then when she agreed with it, I immediately thought I went low.
Right.
Damn.
Well, the other thing that this whole quarantine thing has happened is I've noticed, one, in the real estate area, and two, just at where my ex lives, the housekeepers, they've gone, like the typical bill was for my house was like $350, and now it's jumped up to $450.
What? For
housekeepers?
Whoa. To do what?
To do
anal.
It all, everything.
Yeah. What's everything? Maybe I'm not understanding what housekeeper means.
Yeah, I don't want to. You'll have to. I'm poor. You'll have to explain to me.
Because I have a maid, and I don't know if that's the same thing as a housekeeper.
Well, so your maid's cleaning everything. The housekeeper is going to do the laundry, fold stuff, clean the kids' rooms up, and do the baseboards and windows.
I would think that's more of a maid than a housekeeper.
And that's per visit?
Yeah, on a bi-weekly basis.
Housekeepers come to your house like multiple times a week. Maids are like once every week or two, I think, is how it
Well,
works.
tomato, whatever. What we're getting done, they now just started jacking up the prices.
Hold on,
shit
so
ain't
you-
tomato. My shit's fucking not even. It's less than half of yours, so you can call it tomato, but
It's a cherry tomato.
Well, I
So
mean,
you-
4,300 square feet plus all the other stuff. And it's a family of 4 that comes in and knocks it out in like, I don't know, 3 hours or less.
Y'all, I mean, no one cleans or does laundry in the household.
Well, no, they do. But I mean, I'm just saying, all I'm getting at is a lot of these maid services have started to jack their prices because they're coming into houses that they don't know.
I feel bad for everyone out there with maid services. I'll pour a
Well,
sip out for you.
If they had,
exactly. How are you surviving in this
if
world?
they had cleaned the house properly, there wouldn't be any coronavirus in there. So I blame them.
Well, but it's also those people that are getting their houses deep cleaned to put their house on the market. The rates, it's not as cheap anymore. The price is not the same anymore.
So you're saying it's 4 something now?
Yeah.
Clean your own house. That's what I'm hearing.
Wait,
$400.
what? You can do that?
We need to get into this offline because I got a ton of questions. But
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in.
It's a good show.
Talk to you guys.
You
I could
said
actually
speaking of
use one.
Speaking of delivery service, you and I played delivery driver yesterday.
Yeah, we dropped off some delis. That's always
Yeah, we
good.
did.
That's we
4
locked
more
in.
weeks.
Well,
And go
yeah.
see your asses.
the governor showed up, said you can't go, so we went out and broke orders. And if they pulled me over, they'd be like, "Is this necessary?" I'd be like, "Bro, I'm delivering a deli. Tighten
Yeah.
up." They'd be
My
like,
fault, Mr. Kennedy. Keep going.
"Yeah, oh, it's you, sir. I love the show."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the ABC stores and alcohol is essential, so delivery is right up there.
Well,
what is it now? You can get mixed drinks to go and delivered here.
You
in
know what we
Richmond.
should do now that I just had this thought? I can't believe no one saw this. We should put it on the Facebook page of what deli we're doing each week, and then the listeners can freaking do it with us.
That's a brilliant idea, Troy.
There you go.
Since we know, I mean, why not?
Well, guys, if you can run out right now before Thursday when this comes out, we're drinking a stout.
Well, I can put it on Facebook tomorrow. They'll have a couple days.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
We should be doing that every week any damn way.
We should.
It's ridiculous this took a pandemic to... We could make the show more interactive.
Yeah.
Fucking
Are
year
you saying
6.
Pandemic? I think I can help with this Pam thing.
With an N.
With a B?
Yeah.
Is that a B?
No, N is in Nancy. Pandemic.
Oh,
Hello, Miss-
pandemic. Okay.
Hello, Miss Lady.
Yeah.
I'm going to chalk that up to internet issues.
We're
At least-
interviewing as a team.
At least I'm calling it the coronavirus instead of the coronorovirus, which is literally how I referred to it for the first month.
Yeah.
Okay, now the suits seem fucked up.
Which, for the record, the coronorovirus has not killed anybody. So that's
Good
the
point.
one. Thank you, Troy.
If you could have gotten everybody to start saying it that way, Corona beer would probably still be selling it.
I was gonna just get ready to ask. Corona, the beer, has to be hating life, right?
Oh, yeah.
They stopped production, right? They stopped production of Corona.
Well, that's because
Dude.
somebody got sick in the factory and they had to shut down.
Yeah, they weren't making
something
sales
for you.
anyways.
Here's a question that I've been meaning to get to. Every single Chinese food place is closed.
What?
What is that all about?
Really?
Yeah,
That's
at least in my world, they're all closed.
well, that's because you live out near the country and probably no one started going to those places because they were they caused it. Around here, we got Chinese
That's
food.
exactly what I think it is. But is
Yeah.
there legit Chinese food places open near you?
I
We
think so.
we did order Chinese food, but it was at the very beginning of everything. So I don't know now. I haven't been recently.
What do you consider Chinese food? Just Chinese food?
Yeah, just,
Okay.
I mean,
Not
Is there-
like Thai food or any
no,
other
just
Asian
Chinese
food?
food.
Like
Yeah.
General So's.
Yeah.
I don't think I've had. I know there's one up the street from me by the Home Depot. It's on our to order from list because it's it's not a chain, and we haven't ordered from them yet. But I would definitely order from them.
There's three around me, and they're all three closed.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I think it's exactly what Brendan said. There's so many stupid people around that are like, this guy is putting the Rona in my food.
That's ridiculous.
There's people out by where you live there like, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm not getting my orange chicken, and I'm not getting my Corona with lime. I'm out.
Yeah.
So is Made in Asia one?
No. Made in Asia, Zen Garden, and then there's one in Amelia.
Yeah, and none of them are open.
Right.
But all those little mom and pop convenience
Vietnamese,
stores that they just cook random meats.
Yeah, I mean, I really think it's because no one was going because people legitimately think that like
they'll get something.
Right. Or their uncle is the one that was from Wuhan.
Yeah, we have wet markets in Western Chesterfield.
Right. Actually, we have wet markets in the back of the store.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. We were talking about it here at the house. I don't understand it. And then Angela was talking with a friend as we were like, why? Who doesn't want to go and eat Chinese food? And she, like, a couple of her friends were like, I wouldn't go to a Chinese food restaurant right now. I'm like, what?
Oh my God.
Shit. I would be. That's probably now that you mentioned that, I mean, all restaurants are hurting, but just based on that type of psychology from people, the Chinese restaurants, if that's the case, they're getting hammered then.
Oh, for sure.
Well, I was driving out by your house latter part of last week, and I thought that little market headed out to your house on the right. I won't say the name of it. They got
the one where they were cooking out the barbecuing.
This was early in the morning on weekdays, so they weren't barbecuing. They had the little, they make the potato wedges and bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits, and I was like, yeah. So I walked in there, and I've eaten there before, and it's amazing. But I was like, I bet they might not be serving food in there. Like I thought maybe they had to shut it down and only sell. No, they were selling all that stuff.
Chick in there that was working the register that checked you out or whatever. She's like, I don't know, 45 or something. She's been working there since she was 16.
That's crazy,
dude. How insane is that?
I just called my local Chinese place that I always order from, and they are open on April 26th. That's 6 days from now.
Nice.
I wonder what that's about. So I figured I'd get some real time information. I was going to try to interview him on the air. Have you noticed it?
PT Minu.
Yeah.
Well, but that's probably their message for after hours that they're going to be opening up to come into the restaurant, but they probably have delivery that's already shut down.
Yeah, they just I don't know, they were supposed to close at 9.
Panda Express is still open. I have eaten there.
Yeah, I'm sure. Fast food don't play.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Speaking of it, I think Ely brought up, has anybody else had the Wendy's breakfast?
No, I haven't.
Have you had Ely?
No, because the Wendy's next to me burned down and went in old Wendy's not too worried about rebuilding it, apparently. Do you see places like Wawa that are like, they have, it's a plan. They're like, we are losing revenue every minute that this store is shut down. So when we remodel one of these stores, we've been planning it for months. We come in, we tape it up, we kick everybody out, and in like 2 weeks, the whole store is done. Mm-hmm. Wendy's, bitch burns down, and they haven't even been to visit the motherfucker yet.
Dude, they tore the sheets to the ground over here by my house, and it was back up and running in under 6 weeks. And I mean, that's a ground.
Yeah, no, it wasn't insane. 6 weeks. It was like 4 months, but it was insane, like the amount of time they did
it. Was well, it wasn't that. It was seriously like 6 weeks.
No, it was like November, December.
What Wawa does is very impressive. I swear theirs was like 2 weeks. They remodeled the whole store over here right by Used To. The old one. They did it like a year ago, and it was. I mean, the contractors, they got it down to a science. They know exactly what they're doing. Like I said, in the Wendy's, it's been 4 months since that thing torched, and literally no one has even.
I don't even know where that one is. Where's that one now by your house?
Across from Lowe's.
Okay. Okay.
They haven't. It's still.
And it burned down?
Well, not down to the ground, but it caught fire.
Kitchen fire.
That's weird. Usually they don't.
So here's a question for you. You know how we were talking about when we went through the whole sandwich phase of the Impossible Whopper? Something that popped in my head the other day. I went over to Brendan's to drop off a new air conditioner for the man room, and
Pallet House.
My bad.
Edit.
Anyways,
29 minutes.
The Burger King by Brendan's is completely closed. They're not even doing. Has that been closed for a while?
The last time I went in there were like 7 workers, and it was me. I was like, what are you doing? And the service still sucks.
You talk about the one by Kroger?
Yeah. So
I've lived here for 12 years, and I've never seen more than 3 people in there. But I have noticed certain, like I like Qdoba, the Qdoba at the mall that I like to go to, that one's shut down during this. Other ones are open.
Right.
But
my point is that, we were saying that Burger King was on its last legs kind of anyway, or was needing something to prop it up because they weren't doing very well. And that's where the Impossible Whopper. Now they get hit with the virus. And
Burger Kings that are staying open are actually all offering delivery now.
Well, that's good, I guess.
Everyone's offering delivery, though. DoorDash and all that.
Yeah, but I think Burger King's actually delivering themselves. Like
That
delivery.
doesn't mean anything, right?
Figuring out how to get fatter.
Damn
I've
right.
never understood that.
Like, what's the relevance of who brings it to my door?
Well, you save a lot of money if you do it versus paying DoorDash to do
takes
it.
a big cut. I've never understood that why Chinese and pizza were the only foods that ever got delivered. Like, that seemed weird to me.
It always messed me up that was the case. And then Uber Eats popped. I was like, thank God.
That being said, I will never pay any of those jerks to deliver food for me. I'll go pick it up before I have it delivered.
Yeah, it costs a pretty penny to DoorDash.
Yeah. Because that's what I figured out. I don't know if you guys may have already known this, but I figured it out that all the DoorDash. So like if you get a Burger King meal via DoorDash or Uber Eats, the pricing is not a meal price. You pay for each individual item plus the DoorDash. It's not like you're getting the value meal at $5. You'll pay for the Whopper that's $4.99, then the fries, and that's how your bill's like ridiculous.
So I pay a delivery charge on the fries. I pay a delivery charge on the burger.
Well, you're not getting a meal deal. If you look
it's
at
all
what
broken out.
Yeah, if you look on the apps when you're ordering, the price of the burger, like there's no option for the meal on your apps for DoorDash or Grubhub or whatever. It's pick the items, and they're all priced out at the item prices. They're not.
I mean, it'd be one thing if you were buying like $100 worth of decent food somewhere and you wanted to have delivered, but like if you're literally just gonna have one fucking meal DoorDash to you, like that's about as fucking lazy as you can fucking get in today's world.
Yeah, we're on our way to Wally.
Yep. No shit.
Do you know the name of Wally's girlfriend?
Eva.
Son of a bitch. So I've been playing this trivia game with my kids. It's like parents versus kids. And like the questions that the kids get to ask the parents, they would know the answers to. And the questions that I ask the kids, I would easily know the answers to.
Right.
And I can't win. I keep losing. And I lost the other day to that particular question. They were like, Wally's girlfriend. I was like, Sarah? And they were both like, Eva! And I was like, I've never even heard of this. So it's funny, I need to get you to be my partner on this.
You
because
should.
I'm getting destroyed. And
I think it's actually Eve, but
Yeah.
Eva is just what way she says it.
well, I'm losing
He
my
says
ass
it, I should say.
to children, and it's starting to really piss me off.
I've never seen it. I got to see that one.
But Ely,
Yeah,
to your point, it is kind of, it's funny and scary at the same time because the way that movie ends, we're headed that same direction with online food delivery.
Well, that was his
no
point.
exercise. Yeah, I'm just saying. It's like
We all just get giant hover chairs and you push the hamburger button on the arm and the hamburger pops out of the chair.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
I desperately
Chocolate
need that.
milkshake would be great right now. Boop. Beep, boop, boop, boop. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That sounds amazing. I know you guys are laughing that this is
Checks
the.
out.
It does sound great. Trust me. The problem is the only reason I'm not 482 pounds right now is because I can't hit a button and get chocolate milkshakes.
That's about right. That's about right.
Yeah.
Lazy boy needs to get all over that.
Right.
Even
Speaking of not being lazy, how'd that ditch digging go?
Dude. I haven't dug a ditch in a good while, and it was a reminder. It was a 70-foot ditch.
Did you do it by hand?
Yeah.
Oh, a
pretty
70-foot.
brutal.
How deep?
I think it's about 10, something like that.
You didn't get Stu's yard people to come over after his maid and cleanup crew were there? They could probably come over and help you
Sometimes
out.
I just get something in my head and I'm like, I'm just doing it. Fuck it. Actually, you know what's funny? I did. This is hilarious. I went out there and I had like 3 shovels full and I stopped. And I was like, I went through the phone calling rental work, Sunbelt, looking for a trencher. They were like, no, I ain't got one. They had like the giant one that would go, 40 inches down or whatever.
Yeah.
So I stared at the ground for like 10 minutes and I was like, fine, I guess I got to do this.
Like, here we go.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different than digging a foxhole with purpose.
Oh, for sure. And then I had to go underneath like a brick walkway. Oh, man, that was a pain in the ass. It just sucked.
How did you even do that? Like you literally got down in the ditch and dug underneath?
No, like I had a, for lack of a better, you know what my digging bar is?
I know. Super heavy.
Super heavy, like a 6-foot digging bar. I just laid it down and sledgehammered it underneath.
Nice.
Till it came out the other side and ran the pipe through. But
it's funny, I always
tell a drain pipe?
No,
What's
power
that?
it's power for his hot tub, right?
Yeah, it was hot tub power.
I thought it was drain. Okay.
Yeah, no. So
you got to have the right tool for the job, and whether it be a trencher or that digging bar, like you can't just go at it with some $6 shovel you got.
No, yeah. I used a flathead shovel. That's it, dude. It was horrible.
Some of the most creative things come out of the fact you don't have the right tools for the job.
That's right, for sure.
I just had this gardening spade.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You learned real quick.
That was mine. So Saturday.
My name is Andy Dufresne.
Right.
I've been digging for 7 years.
But no, I dug that thing. I was done before noon on Saturday, and then
that's
obviously
impressive.
laying all that in there and wiring the disconnect up. I had to go through the brick on my outside of my house into the inside to the panel.
So she up and running?
She is actually she's about halfway full of water right now,
Nice.
all wired and ready to go. So
That's good to hear because I thought you were going to give us a Griswold moment where you plugged everything in and nothing happened.
Yeah. The little lights aren't twinkling, Clark.
Thanks for noticing.
Yeah.
So you're getting into it after this? Is it going to be full enough and warm enough?
I got, since I'm on a well, so when I filled up the pond, so I also just recently drained the pond.
Oh yeah, that was like a week or two ago.
So, but when I filled that back up, I went to drink some water and it had a little bit of dirt in it. So I was like, looks like we ran the pond, the well a little too dry because I got kids showering, tons of
This is the only motherfucker during a pandemic keeps starting things that need thousands of gallons of water.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So
forecast is dry for the next week.
Well, sprinklers on while it's raining,
Well, I was glad you had it done by Sunday because we definitely we had fun out there on Sunday.
Yes, we did. Glad you guys could come out.
That was a blast, man.
That was nice, man. So one of the things that happened to me during this pandemic is I started watching. Well, let's be honest. I don't trust all you people.
Yeah, man.
So I started watching. What I saw was the beginning of a potential societal crumble, and I thought, I think I need a gun.
People fist fight for toilet paper, maybe.
The minute I saw every asshole go out and buy toilet paper, I bought a gun.
Yeah,
I was like, I'll get your toilet paper if I need it.
Yeah, it's funny. We were flirting with the idea of. I was telling you guys actually yesterday, flirting with the idea of moving back, getting rid of all this property. But now, since this whole thing, people suck. Like society is just full. Yep. I don't think I want to go back into town.
Ely started his own vegetable garden. He's thinking about getting a cow and a sheep.
Oh no, I mean I'm legitimately started plotting solar and things like that. So
yeah,
I like it.
Off-grid would be dope.
Yeah.
Well, I like that shooting range you got out there. It was good to get out there. I've never actually shot that new gun, so.
Yeah, that was good. We got it all dialed in too, which was nice. It's funny. So he brings it over, and the first 2 times. Now, keep in mind, we're like 10 yards from a
which
3x2 target,
which
you
is
know
a
what I mean?
really far distance in my
No,
defense.
not far at all.
It's a
And
first
he's
down.
like-
You know how hard it is to get a first down?
There's like 3 of us standing around him. He fires, and we're like, dude, I don't see that anywhere. He fires again, and we're like, man, that thing's not hitting anything.
That's
So
not a
it was
lie.
like, it was bad. Yeah. So, but some of the sights were off, so we just had to adjust.
Yeah, I
one
was
of the few
looking.
handguns. One of the few handguns that has adjustable sights.
I was gonna say I hadn't seen that. Not that I'm a connoisseur, but you don't see that on handguns.
No.
Like it's,
That was
Yeah.
actually one of the things that I liked about that gun. They were like, actually has adjustable sights. And I was like, oh, I want that. Like, I want to be able to dial it in. And
Yeah,
thank
exactly.
God, because when
How
that
does
gun
that
Looks
work?
like he's about 150 yards away.
Yeah.
Let me get a couple clicks on this pistol really quick.
that bitch,
What's your wind direction?
Yeah.
the sight was totally like off to the right, like literally to the point that it was hanging off the barrel of the
Yeah,
gun.
it
It was
was.
that far to the right. And I was like, well, that's probably not right. Like, I'm literally looking through it dead on and shooting people, 20 degrees to my right. I'm like, what is happening right
Couldn't
now?
hit the broadside of a barn. It was
No.
Brendan's gonna have an intruder, and his wife's gonna have to be a sight man. Like,
Yeah, you're 10
He's got a
yards to the
spotter
right.
scope.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sir, can you stand still?
No impact, no idea, hun.
I was aiming at that guy, but I got the big one over there.
Yeah.
How'd you miss him? He's in the doorway.
It's a big door.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was
Reload.
interesting. But it was fun, man. We were out there. There were a handful of us. There was a couple virgins out there with their new guns because everybody's freaked out. It's toilet paper and ammo right now.
It is. It's insane.
Because
Gotta
I've been
shoot all
out
kinds
there.
of cool stuff.
Yeah, I've been out there a couple times now, and each time it's like people I know that have new guns.
Well, based on what Ely was telling me before you got on, Brendan, I'd rather take my chances with Carol Baskins.
I'll be fine, man. I'm dialed in now. It took an entire box of ammo, but I'm now dialed in. I'm in
Yeah.
a pretty good spot.
Everybody got to shoot the 1903
I was going to
Springfield.
say that's where I was going. That was my highlight of the day, was shooting that 1903 Springfield. That thing was
Yeah.
It's a ridiculous gun. Apparently, this is the gun that people used to carry in World War I, and it's like feels like it's 20 pounds, and it kicks like a mule. And the bullets, I wouldn't even want to carry the bullets. They're so fucking
Yeah.
big.
It's an awesome rifle.
But it's
It
definitely
makes you
cool.
feel like a grown up when you shoot that thing.
Now, the one you didn't have it this time, but you have that shot, the Terminator shotgun. It's the
Yeah,
one that
with the
Arnold
pistol grip.
Schwarzenegger literally holds with one hand
Oh,
and
yeah.
shoots.
Yeah.
Which, out of all of the movie lies that I've been told, that may be the biggest lie, because I tried to shoot that thing with two hands and it kicked me back. I was like, how did
Dude.
Arnold hold that on a motorcycle
We talked
one-handed?
about this. He was a Terminator.
I
Yeah,
get that,
yes.
but fuck
No,
me.
clearly you don't. You're
It's a
like, why
mechanical
does
arm.
how come the Terminator could hold this thing?
I'm
It's
willing
like he's
to
more machine than man.
Get it? What's going on?
I'm
Right.
willing to
Did you
suspect.
follow the premise of the movie?
I believe that the guy was made of liquid fucking metal that could come
Yeah.
back together before I believe a man can one-handed shoot that gun off a fucking Harley. That's a
Right.
fact. That
For
is
sure.
like, it is much
He
easier
did,
to
remember he
believe.
had that built-in holster in the
Yeah.
motorcycle too. Yeah,
That is a bad man, Terminator.
he didn't even like look down to find where the thing was going to go. He just automatically shoved it into some opening in the motorcycle.
Remember he cocked
Yeah,
the pump,
that's right.
one hand. I
I'd be
mean,
lying to you if I told you I hadn't tried that.
just drop it on the ground.
Exactly,
I need a shit ton of steroids.
for sure.
That's what I've decided.
But yeah, we rattled off a ton of rounds.
I bet your
Like-
neighbors were like, "What?"
Oh my God, he's at it again.
I love that your neighbor started shooting rounds off to let us know that he was armed.
Yeah,
'Cause he was like, that's a fucking militia.
that is
I'm
my
gonna-
next door neighbor too. He's that kind of guy.
Nice.
He's very much like the one upper guy.
How many rounds do you think we went through?
10.
You hit something?
Yeah, you mean how many times I hit the target? 6.
I don't know, 500, 300.
I would say
500?
1,000, right?
Yeah, I mean it's not.
I mean, there were 7 people out there.
It's definitely a good time. And in the name of safety, we're all social distancing because, you know, everyone's holding a gun.
Yeah, no one got close.
I'm like, well, anyone more than 10 yards from me should be safe. So, so everybody.
So
stay
Ely,
over
speaking
there.
of your Springfield, I just happened to be. This was probably about 3 months ago. I'm looking at it here in my room, but I was in an empty townhouse and nobody claimed it, but it was standard issue World War I machete.
Really?
Yeah, it's got the date and everything on it.
That's
sketched,
awesome.
And it's the handle's gone. I mean, it's a little bit of the wood left, but it's gone. Plus but it's in the leather carrier. I mean, the leather sheathing and everything.
That's
it's
awesome.
Pretty nice. But
yeah, I mean, I shot off at least 100 myself. Thinking about it.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I think I only went through about 50. But I mean,
I would say 500.
You went over. Well, your AR went through
60.
60, and then
My pistol maybe 30. Well, one pistol 30, another one maybe 20, and another one.
Then the 20 of the 1903.
So yeah, 110, 120-ish probably.
So yeah, anywhere probably around 750.
Yeah.
So we are.
Right.
It's about that time in the day, and today's a kind of a special occasion with the deli because this is our last independent deli for a little while.
Brooklyn.
Officially next week we have a deli sponsor coming on board. We'll save more updates for that. But
Yeah.
So enjoy this last independent deli. Actually, I got something.
Ely and Stu don't even know about that.
I think I have talked to Stu since this came up.
Cool.
But I don't know that I've talked to Ely about it.
Nope.
So this is a democracy, and 3 out of 4.
You're gonna love this sponsor. It's a perfect fit.
I've been voluntold.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, wait a minute. I saw the email. Wait a minute. No, what did I see?
Yeah, you might have seen it. It was in the Inside the Pallet House email.
I didn't get
I
it.
saw an insurance one.
Don't bury the lead. That's the one. That could be the one. But don't worry. This week we're independent still. We're doing our own delis.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Holy shit.
Stu, don't read the ABV. I know that's what freaked you out. This right here is the Brooklyn Brewery Black Chocolate Stout. It's a legendary Russian Imperial Stout, which is code for holy shit, that's strong.
it's also code for I forgot a bottle opener, but thankfully my wife saved the day. She brought it in here for me.
This
It's in
thing
the, not a twist top.
This is expensive because of the Imperial and strong because of the Russian.
And expensive because of where we bought it from.
Well, yes, we bought it from the place that's 50 yards from the epicenter of the corona outbreak in my county.
Oh.
A legendary Russian Imperial Stout.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's yeah. Okay.
Did somebody just pull a stew?
I'm trying not to let my emotions be known.
This is the famous Brooklyn Black Chocolate Stout, descended from the Russian Imperial Stouts. Did you read this?
Hey, look, Ely's off camera right now. He's not listening. $10 says he does not finish this beer.
Oh, no doubt.
Have you tried it yet?
No.
Give it a taste. Give it a taste. It's got notes of meth.
Yeah. Go ahead and read it, Troy, if you can, because it's what's on the bottle is different than what's on the website.
Okay. From the Russian Imperial Stouts of the 18th century, our Black Chocolate Stout has itself become a modern classic, heralded the world over. A blend of 6 malts produces its dark chocolate aroma and flavor. There's nothing better to enjoy with rich desserts, fine cheeses, and roaring fireplaces.
And
Winter
syphilis.
2019. 10%.
10%. 10%.
Yeah.
That packs a punch. That means the second half of this episode is going to be funny to us.
Yeah. says it goes well with cheesecake.
Yeah, anytime a beer says goes well with ice cream and cheesecake, the beer sucks. That's been what I've learned.
Well,
They're always
it's
like,
definitely got the black label and the way the whole bottle looks. It just goes with what I would say would be like that whole Russian theme.
I think it looks very much like a tuxedo or something. It's very ornate.
Yeah. Script, print. Thanks for good.
Stu, have you had a chance to try this?
I'm on my second sip here. I'm actually not. It's growing on me.
It grows on you.
Yeah, like a tumor.
Like syphilis.
Yeah.
To call back your reference.
Actually, I got to be honest, though. I am on my third sip, and it has gotten
10%.
better. Whoa!
You missed the read, Ely.
Jesus.
Well, we can't drive, so
Yeah.
Yeah. Haley's gonna go dig some more ditches in a second.
yeah,
Yeah,
to throw up
legitimately.
in.
Random holes in his yard.
What are you doing? I'm burying you.
What is that from? I know that's what is that?
Step Brothers.
Yeah.
I use ninja skills to control my breathing.
Oh shit. Okay, Stu, can you get us started on this? Oh fuck.
Well, surprisingly, it doesn't have I don't think it has
Did somebody
lingering
eeny,
back
meeny,
taste.
miny, mo and grab this? Like, how did we get this?
I think I picked it out.
No, this one was one of mine because
Well, I think you paid for it, but did I point it out?
well, here's how it went down. We went into the Lucky Mart and we're looking at all the different beers, and immediately we had discovered 2 IPAs, and I was like, we can't have 4 IPAs, so we need to mix it up. So he ended up grabbing something that wasn't an IPA, and I was like, you know what? There were some stouts back there. And then he and I walked back, and he was like, yeah, let's get this. And then so we got it because we were actively looking for something that wasn't an IPA. But to say that it wasn't an eeny, meeny, miny, mo situation would be disingenuous.
And eating beer at that place is like ordering off the fucking Cheesecake Factory menu.
Yeah, the place has 1,000 beers.
I've never been in there, and there's a million microbrews in there. It's crazy.
That's why it's my spot.
That's why it pairs well with it.
And it was only like $15.99 a 6-pack. So a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess you pay the same price for the same amount of ABV for other beers, but you get just as much in 6.
If anyone knows, well, you guys know, the listeners have no clue, but I make this face when I try beer.
Oh, I just saw it. I
It's
laughed.
It's been frozen in that face for the last 3 minutes.
I can hear that face.
I thought my internet glitched.
Yeah, not at all. It's I keep
So you
staring
like
at the
it.
bottle and like, you know, you stare at somebody that's doing something stupid. You're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And looking at the bottle like that, like, what the fuck?
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, like, who does this?
Yeah.
You're looking at like, people like this? Like you
Yeah.
would look at some asshole going, people like you? You're accepted in
Just
certain
exactly,
circles?
yeah. How have you made it so far through life?
Yeah. You need to put a shirt on under those overalls, dumbass.
Exactly. It's either that or this is for like, just like DKML. This is for like grown ass mountain men that like. I
But
don't
this is
understand.
far better than DKML.
Yes.
Yes,
That
but
is
the
the-
concept is the same.
Oh, very much so. All right, Stu,
Yeah.
go ahead. Lead us off.
I mean, I can't see myself drinking more than 2 of these. I
Whoa.
kind of like a little bit of the
What?
flavor, but it's
Point 2.
no, I get like one that definitely would have to be wintertime, cold weather. I like a little bit of the chocolate flavor. I like the fact it doesn't have a lingering aftertaste. It's a little thick for me, but
Viscous.
I'd give it. I don't know if I want to give it a 3,
You
2.5.
do. Do it,
Two
Stu.
2.75. Is that a possibility?
Yeah, it's
And
a little high.
No, it's
but
not. No, it
In-
doesn't happen.
In
Then
Stu's
it's
world,
still-
where everything's either a 2 or 2.5 or 3, then yeah.
That gets rounded to a 3, bro.
I want to go after Stu because,
I just don't know if I drank 6 of these, I'd probably just throw up.
Fact.
dude,
But I can handle the cold taste of it.
Stu likes that it's cold. Okay, Troy, on to you.
that's what I'm looking for in a beer. Cold.
Yeah, exactly.
I like how they made it cold.
I'm weird like that. I like cold beer. I actually agree with a lot of what Stu says, which probably didn't happen very often. I like this beer. I like the taste of this beer. My only knock on it would be it's too boozy. The 10% is a little much, maybe a 7 or 8%. But I like to me, the malt is better than a hoppy flavor. I like stouts more than IPAs. And it could be a little more chocolatey. There's hints of chocolate in it. I thought it might be more chocolatey. But I don't mind this. I give this a 3.5. I like this beer.
Oh,
but I wouldn't,
shit.
That being said, I wouldn't drink more than 1, maybe 2 because of the booze content. I mean, I'm halfway through this and I can already feel it.
Yeah, I'm going limp as we speak. I've there's so many thoughts in my head. All right, you said it didn't have enough chocolate. I totally disagree with that. It's a dark chocolate. You know, like
It's not sweet.
yeah.
I see what you're saying.
It's very much a dark chocolate. So like my wife loves dark chocolates with that high cocoa. Yeah.
Cacao.
Yeah. So this is like a 90 if you were looking at dark chocolate.
Okay,
It's like
I see that now.
it's not sweet at all, but it's very chocolatey if you think dark chocolate.
Gotcha.
So I like that actually, that I can recognize the chocolate. Actually, I think my wife would like literally 1 sip of this and then hate it the rest of the time because she loves dark chocolate. So if you like dark chocolate and you can handle ridiculous amounts of booze, you're going to love this beer. It's very dark chocolate, no hops. I agree with Troy on the maltiness. It's certainly there. But Stu, you had said it didn't leave a flavor like in the back of your mouth, like an aftertaste. For me,
lingering.
For me, it won't leave the roof of my mouth. Like it is lingering far too long. So that's actually a major turnoff for me. For this beer, it's too boozy, too much punch. I like the dark chocolate. Because of the dark chocolate, I'm going to take it all the way up to a 2 because otherwise this would get panned even worse. It's a 2 for me. It's a lot of booze though.
It is booze. My least favorite trait of this is the amount of booze.
Strong.
It's like
so strong.
It burns. It's like way too boozy.
Yeah, like
I mean,
if I had a
what
cut,
you just said drives me nuts.
the booze.
That's what I hate about it.
Yeah.
I can taste it. As soon as I sip it, it tastes like shit to me because of that.
Yeah. It's overpowering the flavor, I think.
Right.
Like I feel like if I had a cut, I could pour this on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not smooth at all. It's super bitter to me.
Big bite. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's a 2 for me. Ely,
That's
where
the
do you
booze
stand?
content.
Oh, yeah. We'll go 1.5.
Yeah, he didn't even want to review it. He's like,
Yeah.
fuck this.
Yeah. I legitimately just took a sip and I told myself in my head, don't make a face, don't make a face, don't make a face. And I couldn't not make a face.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there. Like I said, I gave it a 2. Stu was a 3.5. Troy, you were a 3.
No,
I'm a 3.
Stu was a 2.75 and I was a 3.5.
Okay, so we'll go 3.
I can't give it a 3.5. It's too boozy. But a 2.5 would be down the middle, and I do like it a little bit more than that. But if the booze was cut, I would actually like this a lot more. So,
Yeah, well, this is not getting a deli, people. We can't recommend it. We had a 1.5, a 2, a 3, a 3.5. I think that pretty much puts it squarely in the what the fuck? Not great.
what was that?
The beer.
Oh, yeah. I thought I missed something.
Oh, you know what you did miss? If you guys want to pour out some of this beer, we can pour out a little bit of beer. We had some horrible news this week. Broke my heart personally.
Oh, no. Yes, I know. Where you're going with this.
we lost a good one. We lost
One of the greats.
One of the greats. She has been known for accuracy and labia and the occasional booby. She took some photos. She told some weather. She wore some rain boots. She did it all.
She carried her dog around.
Number one in my heart, and now dead to us, leaving the Richmond area. His one Nikki Dee Ray. She's moving to Nashville. Which, let's be honest, that accent belongs in Nashville.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Can I pour out all of this for my homie?
Yeah. I'm literally giving you the opportunity, Ely, to pour it out for someone.
Yeah. Right.
I'm devastated. We're losing Nikki Dee Ray right now. It was bad enough that we were stuck in a fucking pandemic, but now you're going to take the best titties on local radio and send them away. This is too much to handle. I don't know if I'll be back next week.
I wouldn't say local radio
a weird
so
question
much as
for
I
you.
would say local TV.
Did I say local radio?
Yeah.
This beer is far too strong for the record.
I love radio boobs.
But we've lost Nikki Dee Ray, just like we lost all those photos she took back in Texas and Lubbock.
They have been scrubbed. Pretty good from the internet.
She has paid a pretty penny, and she's moving upstream to Nashville now. Well done, Nikki D. I'm not mad at you. I'm just sad.
I wonder where Richmond ranks, what number Richmond's market is compared to, I mean, obviously Nashville's a bigger, better market, but like what's the jump? Is it 75 to 25?
All I know is Nashville's growth rate is something ridiculous. Like buddy, it's like 1,000 people a day move to Nashville. It's either 1,000 or 100 people every
it's
day.
99.
Oh, so it's 100 people a day move to Nashville. I mean, think about that. That's crazy.
That's a lot.
The amount of people coming in.
When I was out there just this past summer, I counted 19 high-rise construction cranes.
Yeah, that's
They're
the
just
skyline.
apartments.
The skyline
that's
literally
crazy.
looks like construction cranes. It's like the Tennessee bird. It's the construction crane.
I've had friends that have been out there and partied and said it's a great place to go party.
Oh, it's the best. I mean, it's amazing. That's why so many people are moving there. But it's
also it's the bachelorette party capital of the United States.
Yeah, they're called woo woos because they're always going woo woo, riding around on like the pedal bars. It's insane.
Yeah. Nikki D will fit right in.
Oh, the old Nikki D would have. The new Nikki D's, she's a mom.
She's a Christian lady.
Y'all. Oh, I'm going to miss her. It really was a sad moment. I saw that come across and I was like, I don't know how much more I can take.
I saw the article that brought up, and they totally brought something up I had forgotten. That she was on Channel 6, which was at the time at least 2 or 3 in our market of the big 3. And they actually got their morning show to number 1.
Yeah, she skyrocketed that show based on.
Only we could find a correlation here.
Oh, if only she doesn't understand how the nudie pics worked. Ely, what do you got, a laser going on over there? What exactly is happening?
Like
It's a disco. It's like a disco party going on over there.
Oh, it is a laser pointer.
Ely, you're about to be killed. You better move.
Right. You ain't got no red dot on your head, too?
Oh, that's hilarious.
Speaking of 90s,
Yeah.
sports are back. Sports are back. And I'm talking about the horse competition on ESPN.
Isn't a golf tournament's going to be the first one, right? That's what I heard.
Did you guys see the horse competition that they were doing on ESPN? It was by far the dumbest thing I've ever seen. It was people on Zoom playing horse with someone else somewhere else, and like they would just shoot a shot.
How do you explain where you're shooting from?
They'd go, all right, I'm at the top of the key, and now I'm going to fake left, fake right, left foot jump shot.
That is pretty dumb.
And it's like
I give them credit for the ingenuity, but it had to have been stupid as shit.
But it was skipping and snapping. It was worse than our feed right now, like watching it happen. And it was like the worst thing I ever saw. And I was like, this is how far we have fallen. We've got like true sportscaster anchors like sitting in their closet at their house watching some WNBA star play Paul Pierce and horse, and I'm like, what am I watching right now?
Yeah.
But then sports came back. At least for some of us 90s people who are Bulls fans, this Michael Jordan thing is the greatest thing I've ever seen. The Last Dance. You guys watching this at all?
I got the first episode and a little bit of the second one.
I haven't seen any of it.
I've recorded both. I haven't had a chance to watch. The wife and I both want to watch it together, so trying to find time to.
So she'd be into it. See, that's good. Then you can watch.
She likes basketball. Yeah,
dude. I have been so amped up for this. So I listen to like ESPN Chicago still all the time via podcast, and they've been talking about how this was in the making for over a year. So when the pandemic hit, then, this was supposed to come out in like August, and they moved it up. They were like, no, you guys have to have this thing ready in April. And these guys all went home to their studios and started editing the shit out of this thing, and they got it out. Good on them by the 19th of April. And
the other thing that was I heard today that was interesting is that yes, there was a huge interest in this documentary for Jordan, but if we hadn't been under COVID-19 shutdown, the viewership would not have been nearly the rankings and ratings that it did get.
This is going to be the best rating of a non-live sporting program of all time.
Right. So if you can indulge me for 2 seconds, the
Do I have a choice?
Sure. Yes.
Sorry,
no.
Stu. Go ahead.
But no, it's the second largest viewership for any ESPN event this year, only behind the national championship with LSU and Clemson.
Yeah, but that number doesn't mean anything. It's a skewed number.
I'm just saying they had 25 million viewers for the national championship, and ESPN's Last Dance, which is the Jordan thing, they had 6.3 million viewers.
And think of all the people who DVR'd it, like Troy, who are going to watch it. So the overall number, if you do the look back window of a week, because no one watches the national championship after the fact. That's a live event or you're out.
Right.
So this will probably surpass it. And knowing how
I would bet money on that.
Well, knowing how my predictions go, so would I. But it has been like I've been amped up forever. I think this has been the biggest windfall for ESPN, considering no network has tanked worse than ESPN. I mean, there's nothing on. There's nothing to consume. It's a nightmare for sportscasters. And now they have this.
What I don't understand is how are these talking head shows still going on? Like, I used to watch Cowherd all the time. He still has a show. And I'll sit down and watch it for like 5 minutes. I'm like, what am I watching? This is pointless.
Talking about horse.
Like, yeah, Dan Levitard, who I like. Like, they're talking about like old thing. They'll have like retired people on to talk about their heyday. And it's like, okay, I'll hang out for a little while, but like, you're not talking about any relevant things.
Yeah, they're like, George Brett, will you tell the diarrhea story? I mean, like, that's the extent
Dude,
of their.
Get him on. Can we get him on here? Dude, that's my favorite story of all time.
Yes, it is.
It's fantastic.
If you haven't seen it, I know we've mentioned it, but if you haven't seen the diarrhea story, go on YouTube and type in George Brett diarrhea story. It's a 3-minute story.
Please do.
And you will pause this, go watch it, laugh, poop yourself, cry, pee a little, come back here and finish the episode.
He got a new pair of
Woke
pants.
up the next morning, took the best double taper shit I've ever taken in my life. Pitching this game.
He's in this game.
It was one of the best stories I've ever heard.
You guys ever shit yourself? Nah, I'm good for 2 or 3 of those a year.
Yeah, that's right.
And he's just telling this story like at spring training, talking to some young guy.
Yeah,
Those two dudes want no parts, but they're just giggling to the side.
for sure.
Dude, so that Jordan story last night, he told a story where he always was like this straight edge.
Hey man, really
guy.
quick, I hear this is a non-PG show.
Oh, my daughter walked
Yeah.
down last night at 10:30, and I'm like, well, it doesn't matter. She can
Eating
watch
off to
this.
it?
Yeah, so I'm stroking slowly because it's Michael. And She comes down the stairs. I tuck it up. I don't want to be weird.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, you can sit down. I'm watching a thing about the Chicago Bulls. I go, this is the greatest basketball player of all time. 5 seconds later, Jordan
LeBron
says,
commercial?
he's the
Zing.
best.
Oh.
He's not the greatest. It's a big
Gotcha.
difference. So Jordan literally is like, well, I was like, this fucker needs to put me back in the game. And I'm like, oh, I hadn't heard an F-bomb the whole episode. And then he was talking about how he'd been benched like during this critical time because he was on a minutes restriction. And he's like, you can still see he's mad as hell about it. And he's dropping F-bombs. And I'm like, damn it, pause. It's like, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
But
Where's the McDonald's commercial with Larry Bird? I'm confused.
what I
Yeah.
find so funny is Jordan always had this amazing, like his image was the most important thing. Like he was famous for the first time. He even had like Sports Illustrated come into his house. He actually had the coach of North Carolina call him. He was like, hey, can you call me at this time? And then he was like, the phone rang and he's like, hey, coach, how you doing? Like he always wanted to look like this upstanding guy. Like he was very.
Dad, isn't that the guy that played basketball against the Monstars?
Yeah, that's him. That's him. But so
You got sucked down that hole in the golf course?
yeah.
He didn't.
So when
didn't
he
care
was
about
a-
how he looked when you see those old pictures of him dressed like a freaking idiot. He used to wear some asinine clothes.
When he was a young guy, he never smoked, he never drank, he never anything. Like he was all basketball all the time, which
You
is
can't
so
get away with the
funny.
gold. You can't get away with the gold chains on the jerk with playing these days. Those first
No,
few,
but he could
he's had-
then.
yeah, he had the three.
But
gold
it's
chains
funny
on.
because Jordan has this clean cut attitude, right? Like when he was young, he literally has a glass of scotch next to him the entire time they're interviewing him. And you just watch the glass of scotch just disappear and then it's full again and then disappear as he's telling the stories. You never see him touch it, but it's going away. But he told this one story about when he came into the league in '84. He was a rookie and he was finally in his first like hotel. They were going out on the road and he was like, I want to go find my teammates. And he walked down the hall and he knocked on a door and everyone was like, shh, 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 be quiet, be quiet. And he was like, who's that? He's like, it's MJ. They were like, oh, it's a rookie. Let him in. And he said he walked in and he's like, he walked in, he looks and it's like the vast majority of the Bulls team. And there's lines of cocaine up and down, like all over the dressers. He's like, there's weed everywhere. There's bottles of liquor. And he was like, oh,
and there's
shit.
women over the
Yeah,
corner.
women ever. And he's like, oh shit, I'm going to get busted. And so he turned around and left. And that was kind of like the genesis of like, I need to just not do this and I need to be the best because these guys don't get it kind of thing.
Well, but what the funny
But
thing
is
was
that,
is
weird? Is that weird that he's kind of diming out everybody?
Well, he didn't say
no,
any
he didn't.
names. He didn't dime anyone out, but he's like,
He's diming out the team that he was on when he was a rookie.
well, they
Yeah,
asked him, they said,
well, there's 72 people on that team. Oh wait, no, there's not.
Right.
so the if you look in the early 80s by the NBA's like numbers, between 40 and 75% of the people in the NBA, they said were doing cocaine on a regular basis. So it was rampant in the NBA at that particular time.
I've seen Miami Vice. I know how it works.
Yeah.
I just feel like if you're in those shoes, you could have.
I was shocked. I agree with you. I was
conveyed
shocked.
the same point, right? Without getting
what
into
was-
detail about.
I thought it was interesting, but the guy did ask. He was like, he had asked something about there was a lot of like partying and things like that going on at that time, and the team was a dumpster fire. And he was like, "Well, I don't want to tell any stories. Okay, I'll tell one." And then he told it. So you're right.
But
Like he could
what
have
was so
not.
great though was his actual answer, where she said, "I walked out of the room because one, they could get busted at any time, and whether I'm guilty or not, I could get associated and go to jail or whatever." But he said, "I didn't do drugs, I wasn't smoking, and I hadn't started drinking yet."
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah.
He said, "I hadn't started yet."
Yeah, he goes, I didn't drink at that time. And then you look at the
So this
glass
is
of
him being-
scotches next to him.
This is him being interviewed when?
Now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
there's,
agree
like,
with Ely.
real-
Like it's kind of
Oh, it was a
being
bitch move.
moral high road asshole. Like he was better than everybody else because he wasn't partaking in whatever they were partaking.
And he was
in.
known to be a pretty heavy drinker later in his career. Like, the famous flu game that everyone talks about?
Oh yeah,
The stories
One
have
that
come
wasn't the
out.
flu.
No, he stayed up all night drinking.
Gambling.
Gambling and drinking all night long. And he was so hungover and sick from all the booze that he was throwing up and sick. And then he came out and dropped 60 points, with the flu. But it's the same.
What about all the rumors about the gambling where allegedly, he gambled himself into all this debt, got kicked out of the NBA, was asked to leave, so he went and played baseball, and his father got murdered because of gambling debt.
So I've always been anti that theory because obviously, I want to hold Michael Jordan up on a certain pedestal. And the more people who have explained the backstory behind that conspiracy theory, I 100% believe Jordan was kicked out of the league because of his gambling. I 100% believe it now. And
really?
It breaks my heart to say it.
Well, I heard someone say something that I never thought of, but the argument was good. Like, imagine, like, Brendan, tell the story of his father's death. It was really weird. He got murdered.
He got murdered on the side of a road
highway
in North Carolina. He was found shot to death in his car on the side of the road. And if you go down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole, which I don't necessarily know that his father was part of the conspiracy theory, at least that I buy into, but the story behind that is the people who killed him was because of Michael Jordan's gambling debts.
His debt.
He had not paid off the debts, so these people found his debt. They had to meet him out there.
So what I heard that made sense was, if that didn't happen, and he was just an innocent victim, at the time, Michael Jordan wouldn't even have to say, I want these, whoever did it dead. He could just be like, I sure would hate for those people to end up dead in a ditch somewhere.
Poof.
Yeah, because if no one does something like that without someone else finding out, and I think the crime's still not solved, and he didn't seem to throw a lot of money and keep whining about it and complaining I wanted my father's homicide solved. It was he was killed. I'm going back and playing in the NBA where even if they had been captured and talked in jail, some lifer would have shivved them in the shower just for Michael Jordan's sake.
Yeah, I don't know, but I truly believe that his gambling was out of control. I mean, this guy was losing hundreds of thousands of dollars in golf games. I mean, he was betting on everything. And if you look at it, he was so competitive that he could not control his ambition to win. And the thrill of victory, come on, the guy had won 3 championships in a row and had gotten to the point where he was unstoppable. I mean, he really was the greatest ever. And then all of a sudden he just up and walks away from the game. I think David Stern did come to him and is like, look, we've got all this information. Your father has been killed on the side of the road, and there's a lot of smoke around the story that this is because of your gambling debts that this occurred. And we know for a fact you've been gambling way too much money. So we think you need to step away from the game before the feds get involved and really start investigating this. Because if we find out you've been gambling on basketball, then the face of the league, not just you, but the face of the NBA is gone. And we've never been more popular than ever. So you need to step away from the game.
Pissed off.
I've never heard of the conspiracy theory. This is my first listening to this, but
welcome to the rabbit hole, Stu.
Yeah. 2 things is, one, he said he would never play unless Phil Jackson coached him. And they gave Phil Jackson the one last year.
Which is the premise of the whole series, that we're the last dance.
Right. But then the other thing, though, is if that's his last damn chocolate stout. Lost a second thought. Continue.
I just think
so. This is post baseball.
Yeah.
So after 2 years of baseball, he came back, won 3 more titles,
and this is the story of the third
of the second three-peat.
So it was 3 years, 18 months off, 3 years. So 2 seasons, but 18 months off. So three-peat, gone for 2 years, comes back.
The Rockets won both those, right? I think the Rockets won both those years.
I don't know. I don't know, because I was a minor league baseball fan those years. I didn't actually watch basketball. So, but yeah, this is the story of the final year where literally Jerry Krause of the Bulls came back and told Phil Jackson, I'm going to give you 1 year. And he basically told everybody, I'm not renewing any contracts. I'm not renewing Phil's contract after this year. This is it.
Yeah,
so,
but who was the coach the 2 years before the third year?
Phil Jackson.
Yeah, so it was always Phil Jackson, yeah.
Yeah, at least for all the championships it was.
So that's what I was going to ask. Is this theory that you guys are talking about, does that play into some of the thought as to why Jerry West is still the logo for the NBA?
And not Jordan?
I don't know.
Correct.
Michael Jordan stepped away, so the feds dropped the investigation and everything calmed down, and then he came back. This is a theory that Ely, one of your buddies in the Marines, came back.
I'm sorry.
And
It was the Knicks. No, that can't be right.
No, the Knicks never win.
It was the Rockets both years.
Okay. So, Ely, when you came back from Iraq and your buddy came back and moved to Richmond, he ended up busting my balls all the time about how Michael Jordan was this gambler and this is why he had to leave. And I never believed the theory. I was like, you're an asshole. And then he would sit out back at my bar and he would tell me all these facts. And I was like, this dude's full of shit. So I started looking it up. Mm-hmm. It's one of the few conspiracy theories that I can 100% get behind because I'm like, it all adds up. It's all right there.
Right.
Why would Michael Jordan walk away after a three-peat when they won 3 more? I mean, they could have won 8 without any issue. I really believe that.
Right.
But he just up and walked away right after his dad was killed. And the theory goes, because the feds were coming in on the NBA, and basically David Stern said, you can't ruin the NBA. We're better than we've ever been. If you step away for 2 seasons, then we can get you back after it cools down, or just step away so that you don't go down. And then after 2 years, it had cooled down enough.
Stepping away ensure he didn't go down?
Because they were just no longer investigating it. Like Jerry Krause, David Stern made it go away. Like, look, he's not playing anymore. Don't look into this. We know he was gambling, but there's nothing sinister here. And kind of just patted it down is how the theory goes. That if Michael Jordan is no longer playing, there's not as much to go after, which I know is kind of a weak connection. But
yeah,
if you look at the conspiracy theory, but again, you and I were talking about this last week with Pat and his flat Earth stuff. If you look at enough stuff, you can always find enough connecting dots in a conspiracy theory to make it sound right. I don't adhere to a lot of conspiracy theories. It breaks my heart to be a Michael Jordan conspiracist, and I believe it. I believe it was a gambling thing, because if you look at the amount of gambling he had done, it was out of hand those years leading up to it.
So getting kicked out of the league for gambling is one thing, but how close are you to realizing that his dad died because of it?
Well, I'm not completely sold on that. What I'm sold on is that he was actually gambling on games. Like he was betting on he was pulling a Pete Rose, but he was still in the game. And so basically
playing more of an outcome.
David Stern was like, I can't have you doing this. I know you. I know what you're up to. We're one step away from the feds coming in because of your dad's death. So in order to stem the tide, you got to get out of basketball.
Here's a question for you. Should gambling, if you're a player like Jordan or any sport, if you're betting on yourself to win, should that be illegal?
If you can guarantee that you're only betting on yourself, then I say let
to
it
win. To win.
To win.
Yourself to lose.
But so how do you guarantee that I'm just not going to turn to you, right? I'm playing in the NBA. I turn to you and I say, hey, man, go place $100,000 on this game for us to lose. Like I could just as easily do that if I'm so caught up in the thing that I'm gambling on the wins. It's very easy for me to say, hey, why don't you place this bet, not me? It's hard to regulate.
Start getting on the side bets, like I'm going to have over 27.5 points tonight.
It's hard to regulate. Once you're gambling on one side, how do you really guarantee that someone's not gambling on the other? I guess is the problem.
I mean, I guess he has knowledge of like how much the coach is going to play him and things like that. You know what I mean? Like, so that's an advantage. But just on the surface, I think, betting on yourself to win
Like, should always be allowed.
You can't, yeah, it should be allowed because you can't.
Right.
That's something you can't guarantee. You
Who
can
was
guarantee-
the NBA ref that got thrown
Tim
out?
Donaghy.
Yeah, Donaghy.
Donaghy.
He
Sounds like a Chicago name.
so he said that all the times he was gambling, all he did was he would know the refs and he'd be like, this ref is going to be hard about this kind of thing or this kind of thing. And he said the NBA would call them up and go, hey guys, you aren't calling enough travels. And so he would take that information and then he would know these refs that are coaching or reffing these games tend to be the ones who lean in to what the NBA is saying and call more of it. So he's
That's just playing the percentages, though.
but
No,
that's,
he
that's
was
how he started, he said.
He was manipulating spreads.
He was at the end.
Yeah.
But when
like
it started, he said he was just gambling with his friends where he'd be like, hey, go place a bet on this because the commissioner called me up and said, you've got to call this more and more. There's too much of X happening. And then he would think, okay, the crew that's working the Portland game tonight, they're always hardcore about what the commissioner says. So bet against them here because it's going to be a lot of penalties. And
bet
so
the over on travel calls.
yeah, so he said that's how he started. Then the mob caught wind of how well he was doing. Then the mob started going, hey, just let us know when you're going to place a bet. And then that went on for about a year before the mob finally tapped him, was like, look, asshole, you're in deep. I need you to make sure that this game hits the under or this team loses. So he actually got caught up.
This team covers.
But that's a perfect example of how easy it was to be doing it relatively innocent just with the information you have at hand, not actually manipulating a game, just saying, I know enough about what's going on behind the scenes that this outcome should occur over here, to, hey, Tim, you got to fucking make sure that these dudes lose.
That's what I don't understand when it comes to these prop bets and like the Super Bowl where, Lady Gaga is going to sing the national anthem and it's 1:24.5 seconds. Like,
And if you go to 3 minutes, somebody wins $1 bazillion.
like, couldn't she hear and see that and be like, oh, well, I don't even have to talk to anybody. Like,
Lord knows I would. I'm not kidding. I
for sure.
would hold that high C for fucking 20 seconds and be paid.
Yep. Why are you bringing a drink box out there? The high C? What's that?
Oh, gotcha. Good joke.
Dad joke.
Dad jokes.
I would definitely do that. Like, I would bet on myself for that, no doubt. I didn't feel bad about it.
So, Brendan, I see you're pouring yourself a nice keg. Where did you get that particular beer from, and what you drinking there?
I don't know that I should speak of it. I question.
Ooh, secret.
Well,
Okay.
I just question.
I like secrets.
Question ABC laws. Do you see what I'm saying there? Are you following me?
There are no
Oh,
ABC
yeah.
laws right now. You can buy mixed drinks to go.
Okay, let's not break any ABC laws. What's the flavor?
This is a smut mouth or smash mouth, or it's a
Hey, now you're an all-star.
brewery out of Norfolk, and it's a saison, and it's fucking killing me. So I did get my hands on a keg of beer. I have a friend, and I was talking to him, and he has a restaurant, and he's
Terrell Owens.
and he's like, we're completely shut down. And I was like, well, do you got any extra kegs laying around? He was like, I do have one. I was like, well, let me get that. So I ended up paying far too much to a local establishment, but without full understanding of ABC laws, I think I'd rather leave it at that.
So to pair up with that,
The bottom line is I bought one beer for $100.
there you go. Good. That's
One
good support.
gigantic beer.
You
So I
did
did-
send us out with that joke. That was a pretty funny joke.
I did support local business just like you did, Brendan. A little under the radar. I got the underground haircut.
You got a back alley haircut?
Yeah,
Nice.
and did this speakeasy type style. Knocked on the back door. The place looks completely closed up, and then they let me in. Got a haircut. Typical,
Some trim with your trim.
$22 haircut, and not quite. That would have That would have been worth it. But
Thanks for the heads up.
yeah.
Could use a haircut.
But
Now-
hey, did I hear your guy Ely, the attorney, say that it's illegal for us to go get a haircut,
But
and
they
then
can
give
come
a hair-
to you.
But
No.
they can come to you.
They can. That is the law. They can come to your house and cut your hair. That's actually legal. Which
Well,
is
that makes 0 sense.
Fucking zero
Yeah.
sense.
Right.
This whole thing. Look, if you want to start going into the ridiculousness of the laws and the vagaries, that we could be here all night because it is asinine. The
There's
inconsistencies.
lines. There's literally lines to get into Home Depot and Lowe's.
There are people standing nuts to butts all up through the parking lot. They're like, only 10 in the store. I'm like, you haven't actually saved anybody.
Yeah.
It's
And then they've created the other line, which is a sad scenario. I saw the picture line of the Chesterfield Food Bank.
pretty bad.
Dude, a
I
5
saw that
mile
video.
line.
I saw that
Route-
video. Do
Route
we know
10.
that? Do we know that's exactly what that was, or was that not just traffic to get off the interstate?
There's no traffic because nobody's working that much anymore. I mean, there's no traffic out on the interstates.
I drive all day, every day. Be surprised about how many people are out there.
I know
There
I've
are people, but the traffic's not the same as like a 5 o'clock traffic.
I know I've heard a lot of stories from a lot of different places where people are losing jobs, man, and they need to get food, and so they're going to these things. But you have to sit in your car, and it really does create backups onto the highway. It's ridiculous. I can tell you someone who's not dealing with it. I got a little something here. I know we're all talking about the Tiger King, but I've been more interested in the Thai King. And we gave an update not long ago about the Thai King holding himself up in a place in the Alps with his 20 prostitutes, or harem.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Life goals.
It's the technical term. Well, the other day, the Thai King finally came out. He has made a move. He left his harem of 20 women holed up in the Alps, boarded a plane.
He went back home to help his people.
No, absolutely not. Flew back to Thailand for a party.
That doesn't sound like him.
He flew back home last week, boarded a plane, flew back home, picked up his wife, who has been quarantining without him, which is hilarious because he's been doing nothing but banging 20 prostitutes, or his harem. And then he goes back to be with her, who has actually been on lockdown because it was like the anniversary of his family coming into power. So he flies back. First place he stops, his house, picks up his wife, takes her to this party. They party it up all night with his wife, photo ops, the whole nine, does the whole thing, drops her back off at home, gets on his plane. Within 24 hours, he's back in the Alps with his 20 whores. This guy is doing quarantine on a level that I've never seen. It's unbelievable. The Thai King.
Ridiculous.
He's on another level.
We're all paying attention to the Tiger King. We need to be paying attention to the Thai King. This guy's doing amazing shit.
We need to pay attention to whatever quarantine you've got going on inside the powerhouse now. It looks like a hoarder's fucking wet dream.
You know how everybody's doing like projects all around the house and everybody's places are getting nicer and nicer?
Yeah, you're just putting the stuff in the same spot.
I'm falling apart at the seams. For the first like few weeks of this, everything was getting better. This place was spotless. I was doing like parties out here with the kids.
Cleaning.
Yeah, we were having so much fun. Now I'm in the middle of the night rebuilding bikes, like doing crazy shit. There is stuff around me. There's bike stuff everywhere. There's different pieces and components of various projects that I've started and stopped. At least Ely's just digging ditches. The dirt comes out, the dirt goes back in.
Yeah.
All my stuff gets started and then never finished right out here. It's insane.
I've got 10 of those. Don't you get it twisted.
But all mine's in the same room. Like I'm literally every time I'm stepping on the ground, I keep stepping on like chewed up dog stuff, and I'm just like, it's falling. I'm devolving. I'm getting
the other
worse.
line that's getting ridiculous because everybody's doing exactly what you're talking about, cleaning out their houses and stuff. I spent 55 minutes twice in the last week at the county dump for a 3-minute unload. I was like,
Yeah, I did
goodness
that the other day.
gracious. It's like,
My wife gave me a honey-do list because you had brought that up the other day, Stu, that my wife gave me a honey-do list that had all these things. And one of them was clean out the attic and do a dump run. And I go, I'll do all this. This one, This one I'm not doing
Yeah.
because I heard the line is like an hour and a half long, and I'm not doing it.
It's ridiculous.
Which of
I
course
hate our
started
dump.
the
Our
whole
dump's the worst.
started that whole conversation of why is it when I give you a list, it's all no, no, no. I was like, I said yes to all these. This is a no.
Yeah.
This one, I'm not doing it. Just
I'm sure
not.
you have lists that she says no to on the regular.
I don't have the
So-
time.
Ely, don't you have a section of your property you can just like turn into a little dump if we needed to?
No. Yeah, Ely, I got a bunch of shit I need to drop off.
Yeah,
You still haven't burned my Christmas tree. I saw it out there the other day.
I have not. It's funny though, like, but like at
5
least
years.
twice a week, I'm like, we should torch that tonight and have a cool little bonfire. I just never do.
So I did that last weekend because I had the little Christmas tree that was in the pallet house, and I've just had it in the bonfire. And what I've been doing is slowly tearing up a lot of the Amazon boxes. I'd say like every third box just goes in the fire pit around the tree. And then I used it as a safety lesson for the girls. I was like, girls, this is why you need to be cautious with Christmas trees. And I took a lighter and just lit one corner. And they were like, it's not doing anything. I was like, stand back. And it was like, boom. The whole thing went up. They were like, holy crap. Now, my wife had like chips and dip out, which was a bad idea because of all the cardboard. It just creates ashes that fly.
Nice.
Everything got filled with ashes. I was like, yeah, you shouldn't have had that out. You should have known better.
We did that last night. We had the so Sundays kind of become a thing now. I mean, Sundays have always kind of been a thing in my family, but now with the whole quarantine, staying at 10 or under, we had the big family barbecue this Sunday and last Sunday. But we had the fire pit going, and we just call it corrugated cardboard time, and we just bring in the cardboard.
Yeah, and it just floats
that
away.
stuff just goes.
It's like the worst version of Tinkerbell, just dirty little fairies flying around all over your yard.
Wonder how fires start. We'll never know.
I'll never know. I'll
Yeah.
never know. Mine was perfectly contained.
Y'all gotta come to the Christmas tree bonfire one year, man. That's amazing. That's the coolest.
It's
He
Christmas-
hasn't invited us out yet.
Yeah.
No, the one my neighborhood hosts, man. It's a good time. Y'all seen pictures of it.
They do. They wait a couple weeks after Christmas, and everyone brings their trees and just burns them. It's insane.
Yep.
It's definitely a
30,
good
40
time.
foot flames. It's pretty dope.
Oh,
So the last 2 weeks, I've ended on a low note, and this one's kind of an interesting note. My wife, we just lost someone in her family, and they actually did a Zoom funeral because
What?
everything's so crazy in New York that you can't get time to go into a funeral home, and they're moving people at such a quick rate that they actually did a Zoom funeral this week.
that's ridiculous. Yeah, the bad part of it is I got a friend of mine that's works in hospice, and during this whole crisis, if you have somebody that's in hospice or in the hospital, nobody can come in. Like only one person, because there's so many people that pass away in hospice, in a hospital, or and only one family member can be in the room at any one given time, and just kind of sucks.
That's wild.
So this is our new thing. We're just gonna
End every pod on a low note.
Awesome.
Well, I made it
Listen
quick.
to the experts, dude.
Ely, I do love your attitude. At least you're consistent. At least you're. Where's your papers, Ely?
Right.
Yeah.
You guys want everybody to die.
Oh, I don't.
You did. We talked about this yesterday. And Maria was telling me about it. They showed the body via Zoomcast. Like that does not seem appropriate. And what year is it? Do I still need to see a dead body? I'm pretty sure if you tell me they're dead and I see the coffin, I'm good to go.
Do you want your body
Right.
to be shown at your funeral?
I don't want a funeral.
So
So
you
this
just
an open casket Zoom?
yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Who wants their last image of whoever to see them be their corpse has been put through the ringer?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's so weird.
Powdery white looking.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to be all posed up in my Miata, sitting outside
With
the
a
funeral
Bulls
home.
jersey.
Oh
With
my
that
God!
little-
Now we're
with that-
talking.
That half smile that Bernie Lomax has in the movie.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
I'd be good with that. Yeah.
With his Cavs hat and his
Some
Bulls
nectars.
jersey.
Post me up in the
Yeah.
Miata with some nectars. I did order some nectars today for the 420 sale. I was excited about that.
Yeah, we all.
They're killing it.
And then I made this sucked. I called my wife a couple times, couldn't get a hold of her. So I was like, all right, screw
She
it.
answered my call.
Well, you're a saint. So I just placed an order for my order of nectars. She calls me back like 10 minutes later. She's like, what were you calling about? I was like, nothing. You don't want them anyway. I was just seeing if you wanted some nectars while the 42% off sale.
Oh, yeah.
And she was like, oh my God, I've been eyeing the bohos forever. I was like, fuck. So I got to pay shipping twice instead of free shipping once.
You are a boho.
That is your fault.
That was literally my fault, but I'm impatient, and today was a weird day, so I just was like, get it done, move on. But if you didn't place an order this week, you blew it because they were 42% off, but you can always drop ITPH in the coupon code. You'll get 30% off, and that's not a bad deal. It's 12.
That's their next best discount.
Yeah, today was the best, but this comes out Thursday, and now the
Yeah.
best is ITPH at 30% off. But might I recommend the Tides? It's a dope-ass sunglass.
I got a pair of the Aviators. I got a pair of the Killix, and I got 2 koozies.
I got a koozie too, even though it's the
Koozie,
old logo.
yeah.
They were $1 and change.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, give me a koozie.
Well, I had to hit that $60 mark so I can get that free shipping.
Yeah.
I would have
gotta get-
had my wife answered her phone.
I got the koozies themselves, but I got a fucking fat head.
The coolest part was when I ordered mine today, all you fuckers paid for it because I used my PayPal money. So thanks to the ITPH crew for us buying my shit.
Hey, no
Nice.
problem.
Why did we
Now,
PayPal you a bunch of money?
Winnings from the being the champion and the Super Bowl
Respect,
champion.
respect. I'm not mad at
Oh.
that. You deserved that. Well done.
Nice.
Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hopefully next week, what we'll do is we will give you an update on the deli, so you can drink along with us at home. I don't know
I
why
took
we
a
never
picture.
thought of that, Troy. That was brilliant.
I took
So-
a picture. I'm gonna, as soon as we're done here, I'm gonna post it to drink along. This is the beer. Drink along on Thursday.
So everybody who goes out and buys it, sorry about that. That beer sucks.
Any chance you want to pick the deli for next week now so the listeners are listening?
Nope.
Nope.
Great idea. Appreciate it,
We'll have to do
guys.
that.
Peace. I'll see you guys later. It's been fun.
I fucking love it.
Leave the good ideas to me, Stu.
Okay.
Thank y'all
That's why
so
they pay you the
much.
big bucks here.
That's right.
Thank you guys for tuning in. If you haven't had a chance to give us a review, do it. I don't know why you haven't. It
You
helps
got nothing
us.
else to do.
You literally have nowhere to go. Review the podcast. You're listening to it. It only helps us, and it'll help you. Actually, you know what helps you more? The Cincinnati Swap. I know that's got to be difficult with social distancing, but if someone could just slide
Share it.
their phone over to you, and then you sanitize it, you could go ahead and swap
There's
them.
a share button. You can actually share it with someone.
Oh,
And,
really?
Yeah, and if you do, give us a good review, we'll read it. So we'll give you a shout out.
And you could do a virtual Cincinnati swap. Share it with people. In fact, Troy, it's 2 good ideas. It's 2 good ideas in one episode.
Killing it,
You're on
dude.
fire right now. Do the virtual Cincinnati swap. Send it to somebody. Look, these people are desperate. They're literally watching fucking Tiger King. These
Yeah.
people are assholes, and they're loving it. Give them something good. Send them Inside the Pallet House. If you haven't had a chance to reach out to us on the email, it's at insidethepallethouse@gmail.com. And then you can always find us on Instagram and Twitter at ITPH Podcast. And if you want to send money, Troy, where would they do that?
Venmo inside the Pallet House.
We're always willing to accept your money, and literally we're taking that money and we're putting it directly towards advertising. So if you do send money towards the Venmo, it's going to go to a good cause. It might help the cause. So those of you that already have, thank you guys so much. We'll be talking to you next week. Stay safe. Be good. Cheers.
Cheers.
Peace out.
That was a pretty good podcast, don't you think?